What if I told you that the world's first airplane wasn't built by scientists or engineers, but by two bicycle mechanics from Dayton, Ohio? Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what Orville and Wilbur Wright did. With no formal training, limited funds, and a dream bigger than the skies, these brothers turned an impossible vision into reality. This is the story of how two ordinary men revolutionized human transportation forever. A dream takes flight. Wilbur and Orville Wright weren't born with silver spoons or propellers in their hands. Wilbur, born in 1867, was the calm, analytical thinker. Orville, born in 1871, was the energetic, hands-on tinkerer. Together, they were a dynamic duo of curiosity and creativity. Their fascination with flight began in childhood when their father brought home a toy helicopter powered by rubber bands. Watching the tiny contraption soar sparked an obsession that would shape their lives. But for the Wright brothers, dreams were never just dreams. They were plans waiting to happen. From bicycles to blueprints, fast forward to the 1890s, and the Wrights were running a bicycle shop. But their passion for flight never faded. Inspired by the breakthroughs of aviation pioneers like Otto Lilienthal, they dove headfirst into the science of aerodynamics. Here's the catch. No one had ever built a working airplane before. They didn't have textbooks, mentors, or Google to guide them. Instead, they relied on their insatiable curiosity and a library of trial and error. They built wind tunnels, tested airfoils, and conducted countless experiments, all while keeping their bike shop afloat, facing skepticism and setbacks. The world wasn't exactly cheering them on. Many thought heavier than air flight was impossible, and the Wrights faced their fair share of skeptics. But setbacks didn't discourage them. In fact, every failure was fuel for their determination. They weren't just building a machine, they were solving the puzzle of controlled, sustained flight. They realized that three critical components, lift, propulsion, and control, needed to work together in perfect harmony. It was like inventing the wheel, the engine, and the steering wheel all at once. The Kitty Hawk experiment in 1900. The brothers packed up their experiments and headed to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Why Kitty Hawk? Its strong winds and open spaces made it the ideal testing ground. What followed were years of painstaking work, crashes, adjustments, and moments of sheer brilliance. By 1903, they were ready. Their creation, the Wright Flyer, was a fragile-looking biplane with a wingspan of 40 feet and a homemade 12-horsepower engine. It wasn't glamorous, but it was groundbreaking. December 17, 1903, the day history took off. On a chilly morning, with Wilbur and Orville taking turns as pilot, the Wright Flyer made its first successful flight. Orville piloted the plane for 12 seconds, covering 120 feet, about the length of a Boeing 747 today. It wasn't much by modern standards, but it was everything. Humanity had achieved powered, controlled flight for the first time. The impossible was now possible, and the world would never be the same. Turning skeptics into believers, the Wright brothers didn't stop at their first flight. They refined their designs, extended flight times, and improved control systems. By 1905, their third airplane could fly for over 30 minutes. Yet recognition didn't come easily. For years, their achievements were met with doubt and dismissal. But the Wrights were relentless. They traveled the world, demonstrating their airplanes and securing patents. Eventually, they gained the respect they deserved, proving their vision wasn't just a dream, it was a revolution. Lessons from the Wright brothers. The story of Orville and Wilbur Wright is more than an aviation milestone. It's a masterclass in perseverance, creativity, and vision. Here's what their journey teaches us. Dream big. Start small. They didn't leap into building airplanes overnight. They started with kites, gliders, and endless experiments. Failures are stepping stones. Every crash and miscalculation taught them something new. Failure wasn't the end. It was part of the process. Trust your vision. When the world doubted them, the Wrights stayed focused. They believed in their mission, even when others didn't. Work together. Their complementary skills, Wilbur's strategy and Orville's execution, were the perfect recipe for success. Change the world. The Wright brothers didn't just invent a machine, they opened the skies to humanity, forever altering the course of history. A legacy that soars. The Wright brothers proved that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things with enough grit, ingenuity, and determination. Their invention didn't just change transportation, it changed how we see ourselves and our potential. So the next time you board a plane, look out the window and think of Wilbur and Orville Wright. They started with a toy helicopter and ended with a legacy that flies high to this day. What's stopping you from taking flight in your own life?